Welcome, my amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are joining from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much, and remember,
I'm being joined from New York by the President's media advisor, Mr. Femi Additional. He joins us virtually. Thank you so much, Mr. Additional, for joining us tonight on the program. Give us a sense of perhaps some of the most significant lined up events for the President and perhaps the gains. What are the significance of those meetings to Nigeria?
Thank you. Good evening. Well, the most significant is the national statement that the President will read tomorrow that would let the world know what the situation is in Nigeria, particularly things of global implications. And of course, that speech will also look at other global issues as they affect Nigeria. So that is what we can look forward to in the President's statement that will come tomorrow morning by the grace of God. And then, apart from that, there are other side meetings, numerous. Within the UN structure itself, you have meetings like Auda Nepad and the EFCC collaborating on illicit flows, and our President will be there. You have something coming up by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. Our President will be there. And then on Thursday, you have a program being organized by Nigeria for investment, to attract investment into the country. The President will also be there. And beside all those major events, there are then bilateral meetings. As of yesterday, when we had the planning meeting, a lot of countries, groups, organizations, group CEOs have indicated interest to meet with the Nigerian President. I tell you, accommodating all the interests that have been indicated is even an issue. So the President is going to have a full time at this 77th edition of the United Nations General Assembly.
Great. There are specific needs of Nigerians, electricity, fixing security, the economic crunch, and a few other issues that are very germane. Give us an idea of what President Buhari will be focusing on in that his national speech tomorrow.
No. You know, you don't second guess a president's national speech. It is something that he will be reading on behalf of Nigeria. Yes, I have an idea of what's in the speech, but then it is not prudent to begin to talk about it until he has read it. After he has read it, we can review it. But then it is not done that you begin to then unveil a president's statement before he makes it.
One will assume that back home here, maybe the vice president will be back from, I'm not sure if he's back or if he's back already, but then it's natural indeed for the vice president to chair the FEC meeting tomorrow. Is that the case?
Well, it's not unlikely. Whenever the president is not around, the vice president goes ahead to chair the Federal Executive Council meeting, so it's not unlikely. But we left home on Sunday, so I can't be categorical. But that is what usually happens. When the president is not around, the vice president chairs the council meeting.
It's interesting that the president of South Africa had to, there are reports that he left the UNGA meeting and had to go home because of the power electricity crisis back in his country. The flip is the case in Nigeria because electricity problem has come to stay with us over 20 or more years. In fact, almost 40 years now, there's been cry about electricity although the government under President Buhari said it's going to be fixed at some point, and at that United Nations conference in the past, the president has taken up that issue of electricity and how Nigeria is hoping to fix it. If we may take this opportunity to ask, this electricity problem, the issue of Siemens, or is it Siemens or Schneider now? I can't remember vividly, the German company. What is the state of things? Can you bring us up to speed? Will electricity also be a matter to be discussed at the end of those meetings?
Yes, in the general themes of hunger, the energy crisis, particularly as precipitated by the Russian-Ukraine war, is something to discuss. But you know that at the microcosm level, as it affects Nigeria, that is also something that may come up in the different bilateral meetings our president will hold. We have an agreement with Siemens, which is making progress now. You know that it was slow at a point, but in the past couple of weeks, we saw different kinds of transformers and electricity equipment coming into the country. And I can assure you that there is progress on that relationship we struck with Siemens. President Buhari is determined that before he leaves in maybe another 8 months, there will be significant progress in delivering electricity and power to Nigerians. And whatever it takes to do it, he will do.
Can you give us an understanding, because before he leaves office is between now and May next year. Can we get some more specific? I mean, how much of progress are we expected to see in that regard if the promise on fixing the electricity problem is a major target for this government? What are we expecting? How many megawatts is the target of this government? When perhaps should we be seeing? Because it does look like a lot of talk, a lot of meetings, a lot of money, a lot of engagement, but no movement that have been seen in the past few weeks or months since some of these agreements have been made. Can you be more specific? Some good news that you can give to Nigerians, perhaps some of those who are running generator to watch this program right now.
Well, that would not be quite fair to me, because there is a minister of power you should have directed that question to. It's the minister of power that will give you the brass tacks, all the details that Nigerians will need. But when you said there has been no movement, that is not quite true. I told you just now that some transformers and electricity equipment came into the country recently under the Siemens deal. So that does not tantamount to saying that there is no movement. There is some movement, and that movement will eventually translate to better power for the country.
Well, as far as Nigerians are concerned, I know in the villa there is uninterrupted power supply, but movement as far as Nigerians are concerned is when they find power, when they want power and they get it. When they go to their offices and the industries in Nigeria are able to power without having to spend the hard-earned money on diesel that is now the price has been up. That is perhaps going to be the movement as far as Nigerians are concerned. This is not the first time we are hearing deals on power issue. And that was why I said, if you can be specific. And I'm speaking to the mouthpiece of the president, and he's the leader of the country. And so when I speak with you, I imagine that we're speaking by proxy to President Muhammadu Buhari.
Nobody will deny that Nigeria has a power problem, particularly with electricity. And it has been there. Successive administrations have battled that problem, and they have not succeeded. So we cannot begin to pretend that we don't have that issue. That issue is there. It is well and alive. But will this administration make some progress on that issue before it exits? It sure will. That was why the Siemens deal came into being in the first place. There was some stalling of that Siemens deal, but that has since been cleared, and there is some movement. Already in some parts of the country, people will tell you that even now, They are experiencing better electricity supply, and it can only get better. We don't have to sit on the complaint counter or become skeptical and cynical and believe that it will not work. It will work.
Let me, the final question before I allow you to enjoy the very beautiful weather there in New York. I understand it is right now. Mr. Adeshina, I mean, I remember when my father traveled when we were younger, we always, the first question is, when are you returning? When are you coming back? With the hopes that there will be good tidings. There will be something he brings back from the trip. For Nigerians, what should Nigerians be expecting for President Buhari, for those supporters who say Baba when he is returning to the country? What in specific would be a very significant gift or good message to bring back home?
Yeah, the mistake we often make is to think that a multilateral outing like this is a trading affair. No, it is not a trading affair. It is not as if we have gone to the market, we took goods worth 10 million, so we made 12 million or 15 million, and then we are going back home to say, this is the gain we have made. A multilateral outing like the United Nations General Assembly is not for that purpose. It is not for that purpose.
But I mean, Mr. Adeshina, I beg to disagree. There are a lot of officials on the entourage of the president. Nigerians are spending a lot of money to send those delegates there. And it's not for a joke. It's not for sightseeing. Nigerians are hoping that those bilateral meetings will bring good tidings for the good people of Nigeria. If it's not going to bring any benefit to Nigerians, then it's going to be a waste. I mean, so that's the reason why I'm asking the question, what will be the significant gain for Nigerians, for those people, the long list of the people who are on that trip?
I wish you didn't jump the gun. You allowed me to anchor my point. You didn't let me make my point. I was building up to that point, but you dived in, and then everything is like being truncated. The point I was heading to was that this is a multilateral meeting. It is not for buying and selling. Two, there are side meetings, and there are bilateral meetings. That is where you hope to get and make some mileage for the country. As we speak now, there are 2 bilateral meetings that will kick off in another 30 minutes between our president and the president of 2 other countries and organizations. Tomorrow, there are going to be 4 bilateral meetings. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, till we leave here, there are bilateral meetings already lined up. That is where you hope to make those kind of gains you are talking about. But that is why it's called sidelines of the UN General Assembly. The main purpose for coming here is to be part of the global debate on germane issues like climate change, Russia-Ukraine war, post-COVID economy, and all that. Those are the main issues. That is the purpose of it.
I mean, I was making reference. Okay, yeah, good. So I was making reference to those bilateral meetings and the sideline meetings. We understand what those debates are all about and the essence of the United Nations and some of these conversations. It is those bilateral meetings and perhaps the reasons why the president had to take some of those whom he had taken with him to advise him and to seek their counsel in some of those side meetings. And that's why I was asking, what is the significant gain that we could be looking forward to? What are the major expectations?
Those meetings are not even held. So how can you then be talking of the gains of meetings?
And their plans. Are there not plans? I guess there were plans for these meetings. That are hopefully, if we had this meeting, this is what we're expecting.
You don't begin to count the outcomes from those meetings until the meetings are held. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Those meetings are lined up.
All right.
2 today, 4 tomorrow, like that up till Saturday. At the end of it all, if you now ask me what were the gains from those meetings, then we can talk about it. Not talk about gains of meetings that have not held.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adeshina. We will have to speak with you after those meetings.
They will not
but
leave
look,
either.
I'm talking in this perspective. When someone sponsors your trip, the person wants to know what the gains and the benefits. Nigerians are sponsoring this trip and they want to know. That's why I'm asking the question. But after the trip, after these meetings, we want to know, Mr. Additional. Thank you so much, indeed. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
It's all right.
Thank you so much for your patience to watch from the beginning to the end. I hope you have learned something from the video you have just watched. The video you have just watched is to bring information to your doorstep and for educational purpose. It is not to demonize anybody. Let us watch continuously and see who can be able to make a sense out of every nonsense we are seeing. We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We will kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you, and remember this. Bye-bye. See you again.